The new Grand Archive DLC is looking incredible, with a new space fauna capture, breeding and modification systems, a new megastructure, the Grand Archive, which also comes with an entirely new mechanic in the form of specimens, with 240 of them, 15 new relics, 2 new tradition trees, origins, civics, and even spaceborne life, which also comes with the Voidworm plague mid-game crisis. And then you have music tracks, events, anomalies, dig sites, text, and galactic resolutions. There's a lot of content. So in this video, I'm going to break it down for you, show you all the new content and give some initial tips for every piece of new content and maybe some build ideas for you to enjoy with the DLC. And maybe this video will help see if you want to buy this DLC. Thanks to Paradox for the early access. And if you want to jump around this video, it's entirely checked down below. Now let's get into it. So one of the first things that you're going to see when you load up a game is this new game details screen. And it's a free update with 3.14. It's pretty sick. The galaxy changes shape depending on the shape. You also have some better UI indicators like which one is the hardest difficulty and a reshuffling of different settings. I also really like the AI Empire changes. As you can see on the left, it changes depending on how many we have or if we have it random. But it also says which empires are guaranteed to spawn. As you can see, we have Nano Machine Sun, Long John Silvers, and the Guys of Genesis going to spawn. And then if we come back, and the way you do that is lock the spawning, not have it on the bird, but have it locked. When you go to play, you can see all of these are selected. This did exist before, but now it's more visually obvious. There's also advanced settings with all of the same settings as before, but put into gameplay, galaxy, game length, and then DLC. As you can see, Voidworms and Cutholoids, or I genuinely don't know how to say this, which we will be getting into in this video. But first, subscribe. At 55,000 subscribers, I'm going to only upload achievement videos until I finally have all of them, including the new ones they're going to add. So the first thing we have is the Grand Archive. The color matches your flag, which is pretty nice. This is a new mega structure / killer structure. You don't need mega structure engineering to build it, but it houses your specimens, which we will get into in a minute. It is a one-stage structure built over any colony with 25 more pops, but I advise you build it over your capital as you're gonna want to protect it. It also does not block improvements such as an orbital ring, so don't worry about that. To build, you're gonna need the Galactic Archivism tech. It's a tier 2 society tech, but you can unlock it if you find a specimen worthy of display. This will cost you 1,000 energy, but will complete 50% of the tech and will give you a special project, construct the Grand Archive. This special project is essentially a tutorial to build it, but it doesn't give you any benefit. This will cost you 1,000 alloys and 1,800 days to construct, and it will have a 10 energy upkeep. And anyone can build it, including fanatic purifiers. Now, you need to protect this, as you can lose it or take it. As you can see here, we lost our Grand Archive, but we get 500 alloys back and our specimens will be recovered. So we can rebuild it in another system if we do lose it. It's not ideal though. You do have a chance of taking the specimens, but we didn't get lucky in this case. Now, talking about specimens, there are a lot of them. 151 unique added to this DLC. There's 240 in total added to other Stellaris content, such as ancient relics, distant stars, and astral plates. When you get another specimen, you get a special symbol, and it will say specimen obtained, ancient mining transmitter. This also comes with the standard benefits that you normally get. Then you come over to your discoveries tab, and then collection. As you can see, the ancient mining transmitter, it's common, it's got lore, which all of them do have. It's got exhibit costs, so when you activate it, you'll pay a base energy, and then you have effects, which can range from a whole host of things. Here we get minerals from jobs, which is pretty nice. As you can see here, we're getting amenities, build speed, trade value, just raw science output, leader heat reduction, consumer goods from jobs, and double minerals from jobs. It's pretty nice. These can all get bonuses throughout you playing, and we'll get onto that. There's also 2 tabs where you can click to automatically activate new exhibits as they receive specimens. This could be a bit dangerous as the cost will increasingly get more and more, and you can manage your specimens acquisition and storage. Here you can store any extra specimens you have, as you can only have 9 active at a time, so you're going to want to choose the ones you need or might want in future. You can also auto sell, so you could auto sell low rarities if you're just sick of them, or you can sell from this tab. To sell, you right click the specimen and you will get sell to private collector. You will get energy back based on the rarity. So that common was 750, the rare is 1500, this epic is 3000. You're gonna want to fill them up, but if there's bonuses that don't really matter to you, you could always sell for a quick buck. And you can also trade specimens. The AI don't have any because they're stupid, but throughout the game they will unlock them. It's just because I use cheats to get these specimens quickly, but this could also be done in an online mode. You could trade them away for a few energy, but it's probably better to sell them as you're not going to get the same amount back. You can also come over to your minor artifacts page and search for specimens using minor artifact. They cost 300 but increase every time you click it, but there's no cooldown, which is pretty nice. These are random. We mainly got commons, but it fills it up at least. They're mainly gained from anomalies, dig sites, etc., or origins, but the new Archivism can also give you random specimens, but we'll get into that tradition in a bit. We can also get specimens from the Galactic Curator's Civic. This is focused around specimens. This gives you the guaranteed research options of Galactic Arcanism. You also get an initial specimen, a common of each collection category, so you'll get 3 extra, and you'll gain unity each time you find a specimen or complete an archaeological site. This could be a great civic for unity production if you're really focusing on getting as many specimens as you can. You get a reduced purchase from Curator enclaves, which we'll also talk about soon. Crazy how much has been added. You get the decentralized research edict, increasing research station output but decreasing researchers output, and grant archive construction cost reduction, so you can get it up as soon as you possibly can. You do get less unity from jobs, more anomaly discovery chance, and more species output, but unity from cultural work per jobs is increased by 0.5 per skill level. This also exists for hives and machines, with the only difference being cognitive nodes experience gain. Now, interestingly, Megacorp is slightly different. Instead of the specimen output buff, you get specimen selling cost plus 100% and exhibit unlocking cost minus 50%. The council position also increases specimen selling cost by 10% per level, as well as trade value from culture worker jobs plus 1 per level. It's quite interestingly unique to the other one, and you can really sell all of the specimens, maybe to a British Empire that exists in your galaxy. So this tradition is pretty insane. When we unlock, we get the Agenda Astute Observation, which on initial modifier will give specimen output 5% and chance of finding a dig site on survey plus 25%. When you launch it, the specimen output goes up to 15% and the dig site goes to 100%. This is quite crazy, and you definitely want this if you're going down the specimen route. You also get exhibit unlocking cost reduction and anomaly discovery chance. This is going to help you build up your collection and activate it as quick as possible. So on the left, we're focusing on your science ships and dig site. We get more excavation speed, more skill, more science XP gain. Pretty nice buffs, especially if you're going to have a lot of dig sites. Then frontier archaeology. This is insane. Your science ships can excavate dig sites in unowned systems. This is a huge change and is going to finally cure you getting stuck on a precursor if another empire that's stronger than you has the system. You also gain a random specimen, and then you get science ship sublight speed and science ship upkeep reduction. On the right, we gain 1% diplo weight per specimen in the exhibition, and we get specimen selling cost plus 200%, which is nutty, especially if you combine this with that megacorp. You could become very rich. Then flawless display. Each rare or better specimen exhibited increases the total production of its category by 5%. So you can stack them based on your rarity, and you can basically play a gacha game with all the anomalies. You also gain a random aesthetic wonder specimen. On the right, you unlock the exhibition focus policies, and you gain a random galactic history specimen. The policies let you focus on a whole range of things. The default is equal focus. We're not putting any emphasis on any category of specimens, but if you wanted to, or you got very lucky in one of the categories, you can focus your production on one of these and reduce the others. This is by 50% and then minus 25%. When you finish this edition, each completed category in your collection grants minus 15% relic activation cost. This could scale quite nicely if you start finding lots of relics because you're doing a lot of dig sites and anomalies. A completed category is one that's filled up with 9 different specimens. You also get 15% specimen output, which is pretty nice, and obviously an essential perk. And things to do with specimens do not stop there. The Curator order has now got additional options with assisting us in our collection. Everything else is still there, but we can now learn about aesthetic wonders and get the Hollow Museum of Wonders. Unfortunately, it's not available yet. I think it's because we have no opinion, but you can also purchase relic, get told about galactic history, or get told about xenogeology. These are all the different types of our collection, and because we have a lot of xenogeology, we can actually unlock the Museum of Geology. This building gives us more specimen output in xenogeology and gives us xenogeologist jobs, which turn turn minerals into Unity and engineering research. This has an empire limit of 1, and there is a similar building for each one, but it looks like you need at least 5 before you can unlock it. The more you unlock, you can get relics, or we can get guidance in specific areas, which give us even more buffs like selling cost or Unity. Then in xenogeology, you can get plus 15% minerals from jobs or mining station output. These are big buffs. This is making specimens extremely strong, but you need to remember to do all of the different things relating to them. And finally, relating to specimens, as there's a whole other half to this DLC, is the Treasure Hunter's origin, one of the 2 new origins. This origin is heavily narrative and story based, so I'm not going to spoil the story, but I will be streaming this origin in full as this video goes live, so if you do want to watch it, tune into the stream. The link to it will be in the comments. What this origin does do is start you with an inactive celestial chart, which will probably be the key to this origin. Also, every recruited leader has a bonus adventurous spirit trait. This gives leader upkeep minus 10%, which is not in effect while on the council, unfortunately. You also get ruler traits, Buccaneer. We get energy credits per size of enemy ship destroyed. That sounds pretty good. Proper pirate. Trailblazer, sensor range, ship hyperlane detection and sublight speed, and then treasure hoarder. On completing survey, chance to increase resource deposit size 10, which can make this empire pretty strong in terms of resources. We are basically midway through the content this DLC adds. We've looked at all the specimen stuff, so we will be moving on to the space fauna, domestication, and beast masters. But since you've watched this far, make sure to like the video. It greatly helps out the video, and it's free for you to do. So please, now let's move on to the space fauna capture, breeding, and modification systems. Firstly, we have the Vivarium, which if you come up with discoveries and next to collection, you have this tank. You will, however, need the gravity snares technology to unlock it, but as you can see, this is where all your fauna is housed. We also have the hatcheries or beastport if you'll have the beastport Civic, which allow you to build fauna, but we'll get into that as we go. This will be unlocked by artificial breeding tech, which also comes with policy. Again, we'll get into that. So the gravity snare tech in physics also comes with the Vivarium tank, which you can build in the modules, and this gives you an extra max capacity and more space fauna ship growth rate, which will all make sense as the video goes on. It can be a little bit complicated straight away, but I need to tell you about these so it makes sense. So the first thing you're going to want to do is capture fauna. Now we're in a more alveo, and as you can see, if we right click, we can launch a gravity snare. It does go on cooldown, and what we've actually got going on here is this science ship on auto capture space fauna. So he's just going to keep sending out these nets to try and capture. Now there is a percentage chance of this happening. As you can see here, the total chance is 55. This is based on leader level or different things like the origin we're starting with, Primal Culling, or the Domestication Tradition tree, and there's even a snare trait. Once captured, they get sent to the Vivarium. The class size will take up different slots. So as you can see here, these are corvette slots, so they're taking up 1 space, but as they grow into cruisers sizes, which take up 4. Remember, this capacity can be upgraded by making some tanks, so now we're up to 90. These space fauna will grow up quicker than normal, so they can get to the next growth stage, and then they can turn into amoeba mothers, which then can reproduce. You can also build a void lure. As you can see, it's ticking along here, and when this finishes, we will get fauna, which then we can capture and then put in our tank. All the information about when they can breed, how old they are, when they mature is all here, as well as culling. Culling will give you resources. At the minute, we're just getting physics tech, but if we go to before I culled, we can actually get genetics. Now, because we already have the design for common amoeba, we culled, we wouldn't get the rarity. But if we come over and cull the rare space mother, this space amoeba now becomes rare type. Rarity increases things like ship hull points, armor, weapon damage, etc. So you do want to try and roll the gacha game and get higher rarities, as it'll give you some small buffs for min-maxing. You also get more science based on the rarity. As you can see, we have a normal one giving us 87, but this rare one gives us double. We can also use auto culling and activate the space amoeba, so we will automatically cull when we're at max capacity, but it will not cull below breeding minimums. So it will make sure that we can always breed more of these amoebas. You basically do want this on, as you'll just be getting some free resources. As you can see here, we're maxed 30-30, and last year we gained 348 physics research as they are breeding, and then we are culling what we don't need. And we just got an exceptional amoeba. So there seems to be 4 rarities, I don't actually know, but currently we have an epic getting these stats. Then when we cull the exceptional, which we captured from a more Alvio, we now get these stats. I think we've increased by like 10% all around, maybe 5 in other places, but not bad. You do want to keep capturing. As you can see, the science ship can send the cult from one system adjacent, just in case they are more aggressive than what they currently are. Yeah, we are just farming science here. Obviously does cost snares to fire, but science, this is pretty good. And the bigger this is, the more you can have that are reproducing, so you'll be culling more. It's a win-win. So moving away from there, cloned fauna, if we are producing it from the smaller size, will have to grow up. But we do get techs so that we can grow them into the highest class, like the Space Amoeba Mother. You can also prevent them growing so that they don't go over the naval cap, as when they grow, they do become a bigger size and will have more upkeep. This is also what the Space Fauna Growth policy will do. So if we move on to design, if we get the controlled mutagens tech, we can now customize our amoebas. We can't customize what they start with, as they will always have these amoeba weapons with a cost, but we can change these purple ones. And they don't just have to be armor or shields like in our normal ship design down here. They can be weapons like a laser eye. You just spam 6 laser eyes, or tachyon beams, neutron throws. There's so many different things, from offensive to defensive to special mutations. Yes, you can make a suicide bomber amoeba and they will just blow up when they die. You also get combat computers, sensor range, engines, jump drives, normal ship stuff. The cost will go up though, so you need to be quite careful. And we did mention the tradition before, domestication. When we adopt, we get galactic touring agenda, which gives us better gravity snare cost, culling reward, and gravity snare cooldown. This also gets upgraded, and we have a higher fauna capture chance when we launch it. We then get more agri-drone output, which it's any food job, which is great because you'll mainly be needing food for these amoebas and base fauna. We get less ship cloning cost, which is also just a nice little buff if you're going down this route. On the left, we have more max capacity, more capture chance, and we have a greater chance of capturing higher rarity space fauna, which, as we've shown, you do want. On the right, we gain 250 food when clearing, an organic blocker, clear blocker speed plus 33%, and space fauna reanimation cost minus 10. Now on the left, we do get an increased chance of breeding for all space fauna in the Vivarium and more culling reward. That's why we're getting so much science. Oh, look at this gold amoeba. I'm getting distracted. We get 5% pop growth speed, which is pretty nice, and space fauna ship cloning speed plus 50%. And then we unlock the metabolic regulation policies. We can stop space fauna growing in size and reduce their upkeep, or we can increase their growth rate and then increase upkeep. If we get the technology to actually just build straight highest class fauna, you're going to want to whack that policy on to reduce the upkeep. And the final pick increases ship damage and sublight speed for fauna spaceship. When finishing this, we get 50% more ship experience gain, which is okay, and then an ascension pick. Now, this is open to everyone. You don't need the origin or the civic, but these are going to help you a bunch. Wild Swarm or Beastmaster for normal empires will basically be a fast track into making amoebas your primary fighting fleets. You start with gravity snares and artificial breeding, and you get the Beast Port, which is just a better hatchery, as you will be able to build civilian ships. You also start with the Beast Ports, and your starting corvettes are replaced with space amoebas. You also start with the genetic material, so you can build the amoebas from the start of the game. You're just going to need a lot of food. You, however, will have artificial ship naval cap usage 200%, so you're definitely going to want to use space fauna. And the origin will start your homeworld off with a planetary modifier, Untamed Wilds, which gives you 1 less max district, but more unity from jobs and a wrangler job. You will have space fauna in a neighboring system, which is pretty nice, especially if you're going with the Beast Civic, and you will get the Wildlife Ranch. This can only be built once on a planet, but will give wrangler jobs. The outputs will actually change depending on what decisions you make while playing the origin, so you can adapt it to how you want to play. You get additional technologies like genome mapping for 10% top growth speed. You get guaranteed research option theology, so you can build an alien zoo, and you gain insights on gravity snares after first contact, artificial breeding after capturing, and controlled mutations after cloning, so you can really get going with the space mutations. You also get damage to space fauna ship armor, space fauna ship sublight speed, fauna capture chance, Vivarium, max capacity, and gravity snare cooldown. So yeah, I've combined this here with Beastmaster or Wild Swarm, and then Cordyceps drones, which, if you're wondering how it interact, you get even more component and mutation damage and fire rate and damage, and you also gain genetic materials from killing space fauna, so you don't actually need to capture them and then cull them to get the material to build them. You can just go in and kill them. Yeah, you can become pretty strong if you can find prey like what we have here. So if we go and attack Tianki, as you can see, we're getting options to do with our origin. We get the Tianki fleet, also energy. We've also then acquired all the DNA, which then we can come over and design for ourselves. And they obviously grow up to different sizes, so you've got to customize each size. Oh, there's a whole lot you can do here. And this combination, I think, might be very, very strong. So there's not just going to be the standard fauna that you're used to capture and use in your fleet. There's 2 new space fauna life coming to a galaxy near you. The Cutholoids are an ambush predator hiding in asteroid systems. These will steal your science ship, but don't worry, you can rescue it by destroying or capturing them. Then you can clone them and steal other people's ships. Oh, they're going to be so stupid. Then we have the Voidworms. These are parasitic creatures relying on planet-based hosts to reproduce. They have a full life cycle. Nymphs into juvenile into adulthood stages. Juveniles explore the galaxy looking for suitable worlds, and nymphs hide in the safety of their nests. Once the juveniles find suitable worlds, the adults will go and reproduce. Talking of the Voidworms reproducing, that's how the new mid-game crisis happened. The Voidworm plague. Voidworm populations can reach a critical mass in your galaxy, and there's a chance the Voidworm plague will begin. A situation will begin for your empire to deal with this with several possible approaches. You can destroy the Voidworm nest to end the plague, or find a cure. Completing the situation will remove your planets from their target list, and you're going to want to do that. There's also a couple of galactic community resolutions, like a focus that no one will even try and pass, and Voidworm and Cutholoid eradication. And there's of course options to turn these up. You can either have them to 3x or off. The standard is 1, but if you want complete chaos, you can just turn all of this stuff up. Except for cooldown on storms. Yeah, you might get RNG wreck. That is all the new content coming to Grand Archives. There's a heck of a lot, but it looks really fun. If you want to see me do challenges using all this new content and getting the 7 new achievements, make sure to subscribe as they will be coming soon. Now, while you're waiting, click on this video that YouTube's recommending you. I bet you'll enjoy it.